Good evening, everybody. It is SSRL Season 6 Round 8. It is the Mystery Grand Prix. Good evening to all of you watching, and it is so good to have you along. Let's go through where we are in terms of the standings. Of course, after tonight, we will be off for a couple of weeks between now and Italy, so we will return on September the 9th after tonight. Then it will be the finale in the Netherlands, a full qualifying session. Of course, and let's go through some of your standings as of right now. So, as Quincy decided to go to a football game last week, that lead of 37 points has gone down to 11 points, and we will go through what that means in a sec. But that means Quincy no longer got a hold on that championship that he once had. It is severely reduced, and you never know if Energetic or Race Chase get a good result tonight. That's extra pressure for the McLaren driver to worry about, and even maybe his teammate, or even the Racing Bulls. But then rounding out your top 5 is Chugster, who's having a decent season of things so far, hoping to get a bit of good form here tonight. And then it's Brando, Sabo Kovachka, Toby, and Eugene rounding out your top 10. And then from 11th to 15th, it is Skid Solo, Tarkangino, ADS, Red Dog, and Quan, followed by Sergeant Devsy, Cerebro, Svena, Emin, and Bruiser, rounding out your 20 drivers taking part so far. In your Constructors' Championship, well, I'll just adjust this very briefly, but clearly in the lead, it is, well, I thought I was going to say McLaren, but it's actually Mercedes by a singular point, and McLaren in second place there. Racing Bulls way too far off of this in third place, so that Constructors' Championship will be one to keep an eye out. As, yeah, there you go, Racing Bulls, Williams and Ferrari. Williams and Ferrari in a bit of a fight of their own for 4th place, but then don't count out any of the two behind. There's Aston Martin and Alpine, and even Red Bull getting involved there as well. Quincy leading, stop the clock, says Daryl. And then Haas and Sauber, rounding out your top 10 teams, but Sauber still, despite recent points in the past few races, even both their drivers get points, not being enough to really get them out of the bottom of the table. At the moment, we have a Ferrari leading the way as tonight's Mystery Grand Prix, as you can see, is going to Shanghai. This was announced during a race briefing, as I'm trying to figure out who is who on track there. I think we got Belgium, the only... There's a red Ferrari out on track, or is it Emin? It's not Emin. Who could it... Oh, it's Red Dog. There we go. Got there eventually. But anyway, yeah. So, anyway, moving on. We have China as the... as Belgium F1. Hello again, Dave. Hello again, Belgium. How are you doing? It is very good to see you. Well, I'm not first. No. Indeed, Daryl says Quincy is first. Did I make a mistake there by saying Daryl is first? Oh, oopsie doopsie. My bad. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be Red Dog, as ADS has joined, so it will be a 17-driver field, and some drivers are trying to get practice in before the qualifying began. Of course, only really would have had the chance to set 1 or 2 laps right here, as Red Dog get that all sorts of wrong as he goes through turn 1 there. Of course, you approach that at a speed of, let's see if I can get the book to focus. You usually approach that at about... Oh, it doesn't actually say here, unfortunately, but you usually approach that at a fair amount of speed, 170 miles per hour. You kind of have to decelerate the speed as you go through the corner. And then through here, this is turn number 6, actually, because turn 5 is that small kink. Believe it or not, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the entire first section of that track, as now Red Dog going through sector 2 is, at the moment, just trying to put a lap together on the board now. In terms of last week's qualifying, Red Dog was able to manage 7th place. So out of the 17 drivers that took part, obviously, just a bit of the halfway field there, but managed to gain a place, went up into 6th before the end. And let's see what we can do. Well, what is my prediction for the titles? Well, I do believe Snake and Quincy are going to go down to the wire, but if we were going to look at an upset here, I do think Race Chase could catch up, but he's actually not with us tonight, so that will mean that Race Chase will be very much out of the championship picture. But then keep an eye on Energetic as well. He was able, in last night's Division 1 race, able to secure 2nd place. It actually helped the team, but then he could actually try and help out as Red Dog there, making a severe mistake So, wait, oh, Race Chase is with us. Do apologise. So, still some time there for the McLaren to find there, as there's a Haas there. I wonder if that would be of Emin. It will certainly be of Emin there. I think he's the only Haas driver with us in the field tonight, as there you go. Quincy sets the time 1:33.479. Emin there 5 seconds behind there with a 1:38.559 as Skid Solo follows suit, but don't expect those two to really be at the front of the field. You'll most commonly see them at the back, as did last week, as Azam says hello in the chat, while Moksha and Toby bring in times of their own. Now, Moksha had a bit of a terrible qualifying last night, as Energetic goes right to the top of the timing boards there with a 1:33. Pleasant Snake also one to keep an eye on, as he's going around the first corner. Let's go on board with him. Got that gap from 37 points to 11. Did what he needed to do last week in the race. And now the final 3 rounds, which we are going to have a break from. Let us go, says Underling. As we now see the Mercedes approaching turn 6 here. We are now going to see Truckster go to the top of the timing line. If he can get back on top, that would really make things interesting. For him, as he's currently in 5th place coming into tonight. No, was it 4th? No, I think it was 4th place there. So I'll obviously look back on the Drivers' Championship screen when I have a bit of time. But at the moment, Pleasant Snake, of course, we were talking about him just briefly, as there you go, there, a very big look up through there. To be honest with you, the track just looks a bit... Is it just me, or does the track look a little weird? I don't know what it is, but it just seems a bit uncanny valley to me. Do you know what I mean? I can't quite put my finger on it, unfortunately. But anyway, I will come back to that another time, as now he is approaching one of the fastest straights in Formula 1. He brakes. You have to brake rather aggressively down through the gears. He has a moment on the exit. Now coming through the final corner, have to slow it right down. If you try and take too much speed, you're just going very wide there and then even ride the curb, which is not what you want to do. And that lands Pleasant Snake ahead of Quincy. So all of a sudden now, this Mercedes driver is starting to find some pace. What about Race Chase? So he's just coming on the end of a flying lap now. Through the final corner he goes, takes more of the track. Does it reward him? Yes, it does, by the 4,000ths of a second there ahead. And that's just what more track can do, as Meldrum there was on a flyer but has invalidated and is missing both his front wing end plates. So he's definitely going to have to come in and repair that. No choice in that matter. What about Bruiser, who was really at the back of the field? He was in 16th place, but of course it was Sir Ibo with a 5-place grid penalty from 14th. I think it was for contact with another driver. Of course, can't quite remember there, but Bruiser is going very slowly on his flying lap, so we'll abandon looking at the Red Bull for the time being. We are now looking at the teammate to Snake. It is Tabran going through turn 6 there, and a lot of... So this track is relying a lot on traction here, so there's going to be a lot of wear going through the rear tyres, especially, well, not through here in reality, but then of course you get on the brakes here. And again, it's all about traction going through these medium to high speed corners. Put it foot on the throttle through here, and then through this section, which are turns 11 and 12, and then eventually 13. You know, you're relying on the rear tyres to kind of guide the car through. And yeah, go see like that. Look at how much stress the rear tyres just being overloaded at the moment. They can't keep the car going in a straight line. So unfortunately, that means he's going to lose a few hundredths probably, and he's even, I think, is he backed out the lap? Let's have a look on board. No, he has not. He's continued on, trying to get some sort of slipstream from the McLaren. I think that's Race Chase in front. Energetic, by the way, has jumped to 2nd place with a 1:32.770, so has knocked a few drivers off. But for Tabran, he has a better moment out of the hairpin than his teammate did, and now through there he's looking rather quick, but it's only going to be 6th place, but that's good enough for the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes and McLaren separated by a point going into this evening, and Quincy's already out on another out lap, so he's got that together very quickly indeed, on fresh soft tyres as well, not wasting any time here, although it's a bit... So really need to shift there. Good balance of proper braking, acceleration and corners. And Underling has got that right. So that is the key to looking after your tyres. But the soft tyre, I really don't think will be the race tyre unless we find ourselves in a safety car situation with only a few laps to go do not expect the soft tires to come into play tonight. I really would say, I really would have to, it would have to be quite the strategy. But anyway, let's go on board with your championship leader. Didn't race last week as he was at a football match. Of all the excuses you could use, that's the most British one I know. And anyway, hugging the inside line through turn 1, then going through to turn 2, then this is turn 3. These first few turns come out you at a rate of knots, and then this kink right here is turn 4. And there we go, back on the power you go. So you're struggling with the rear tyres there, and then you're approaching turn 6 now. You just went through turn 5 flat. And then get that car turned in. And again, back on the traction. Stress on the rear tyres. And now you're going to really load up the right-hand side of your tyres as you go flat through here. Now the left-hand tyres as you go through the right-hander. And now you're going to have to come to a complete stop as Red Dog disconnects from the session. Slow it right down. Get back on those rear tyres for traction. And then accelerate from the corner. And oh, too much curb! And Quincy has crashed. The championship leader going into tonight, losing a bunch of ground, and now loses a bunch of confidence, spinning, going through turns 9 and 10, and no front wing. Will have to take time out of the session to repair that. And unfortunately for the championship leader, the British driver finds himself at a huge disadvantage in the middle of qualifying. He may have one more flying lap to go, but he does not have as much time on the clock as he would have wanted for repairs. We now jump to No Sabo in the Red Bull. I'm just seeing on my notes if he attended last week. I'm sure. I didn't imagine this. Yes, so he did. He qualified 11th place as ADS is disqualified for facing the wrong way. Has had a moment through the final turn, and the game has disqualified ADS, so he will now assume 16th position. I thought we were going to have 17 drivers. I must have made a mistake somewhere. I do apologise. But anyway, No Sabo qualifying 11th last week, but now currently, although both Ferraris don't have a time on the board, real contradiction to what happened last night. Both Ferraris getting first and second there, a Tifosi 1-2 from, it was, let's see, what was the Mission Grand Prix? It was Montreal last night, so that means that the Ferrari are struggling, and there's been a mistake actually from Meldrum, facing the wrong way at turn 6 there. Gets the car pointing in the right direction and will continue on for the time being. We're going to cut back to No Sabo, who is over a second down. He must have just set the flying lap then, although let's have a look at his tyres. Well, 3-lap old soft tyres. Yeah, you're not going to set another fastest lap on that. 6 minutes to go in the session. Quincy is in the pits. Oh, and No Sabo doing a Lewis Hamilton from 2007. Of course, you might remember when Lewis Hamilton, that was the moment Lewis Hamilton lost the World Drivers' Championship. And, yeah, no, unfortunate for him, although you could argue that also that little failure in Brazil is also what lost him the time there as well. But anyway, Pleasant Stake, 4th position, and has just got up 2 tenths through Sector 2, and is now coming through to the final, well, the final section of the circuit. He is approaching the DRS zone for the start finish straight there. There you go, the rear wing opening now for the drag reduction system. He's got 7 tenths to make up, and there's also the pole sitter of Truckster just behind him, but of course still 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the session, so nothing safe as of right now for Truckster. This is going to need to be a good lap from the British driver. Oh, Pleasant Stake very wide through the final corner. That's what I was talking about. Take too much and you might come out with very little, and Truckster does the opposite to Stake and comes out on top for the time being. Can Truckster get something together for pole position and then a win in SSRL? Let's wait and see to find out what happens, as Pleasant Stake, of course, came off that flying lap as ADS has fully left the session. So I just wonder what happened there. There's a yellow flag for a Red Bull there. It's not going to be... That's going to be a Bruiser, I would think. Yeah, so Bruiser had a moment going into turn 1. He's on a flying lap as well, so this is going to be absolutely ruined. And he's going to have to abandon this one. Moksha in the Aston Martin, of course, this time last night in qualifying, got a 5-place grid penalty for oh, goodness me. For making contact. It was with, I think it was with, was it with Sveta? I think it was. Yeah, just a bit of contact, and I think there was a front wing missing. It was an Alpine, or was it Kvachka? It was one of those two drivers. But anyway, at the moment, no such fortune has fallen upon Moksha this evening. And at the moment, it's looking like he's putting a fine lap together. And fine qualifying session, currently in the top 10. And he is currently looking to complete this flying lap. As going through turns 9 and 10 now. Is approaching 11 and 12 at a rate of knots, but over 4 seconds down. So he's just come off a flying lap for him. As Truckster facing the wrong way at the hairpin. That is of turn number 14 there. Overall 16 turns on the track here. So that small kink as... Oh, goodness me. I thought he was going into the pit wall then. As now Pleasant Stake is in the pits. And look at this. I thought we were going to see Quincy come out the pit lane, but I don't know if he has enough time. Has really got to hurry this up. I may have a surprise in store for everybody tonight, but I'm currently having a think about it. I've got 3 minutes to decide, and I might just prep something, so you never know. But anyway, currently focusing on current affairs at hand. Sector 1, personal best from Race Chase. Nearly 2/10 of a second. Let's follow the McLaren because this is going to be for the constructors as well. Mercedes are currently ahead of both McLarens, but does Quincy, due to his front wing damage, have any time to come back to the track and get a flying lap in? Time is of the essence. He's realistically only got 1 minute to go. I'll keep an eye on that track map for you while we're watching Race Chase go for another personal best in Sector 2. Remember, the delta on the top right-hand side, as Moksha has now retired from the session in the pit lane, so he feels he can't go any faster, and also might not have had enough time to come out of the pits to set another flyer. At the moment, Race Chase, DRS open through Sector 3, goes down the long straight here that separates turn 13 from turn 14. And actually gets that A-okay, as now he will go through 15, that little kink through there. And now, through turn 16, remember, don't take too much through here. Slow on the entry, fast on the exit. And there you go, very nice line from Race Chase. That is only going to be keeping him in 5th position. It's not good enough, as Quincy is on an outlap. He has just got back in the nick of time. Rendog has joined us. And, oh wow, Quincy there, very wide. Oh no, I think this might spell disaster for the McLaren, and that's his teammate Race Chase, who's just come off a flyer. Oh, if they were communicating, they could have known that. Meldrum has made a mistake as well, so he can't go any faster. That's it, but Quincy needs to get a hurry up on and clean those tyres of the dirt they've just gathered. And he's really up against the clock now, the championship leader, because Pleasant Stake is on an outlap, and he will complete this to set a final flyer. Let's go around the track. We know Meldrum is out of this one, as now Asian Boy is 13th and also on a lap. So is the Kicksauber of Sir Ibbo here. Let's keep an eye on him. Nearly 9/10 down in Sector 2, so this isn't going to be a representative time at all. But currently in 11th place, that's his best qualifying to date as of right now. And we are now going to see him complete the final flying lap from the Kicksauber. Of course, Kicksauber having good fortune in Division 1, but not so good fortune in Division 2. That is 2 seconds off the pace, coming towards the line. That is going to be the end of qualifying for the Kicksauber. And actually, both Kicksaubers as well. Skid Solo did not come out for another flyer, so unfortunately for him, no chance there. And Rendog is also out on a flyer, but no, he's on an outlap, but he can't get to the... he won't be able to get to the start-finish line in time. No real point there. And what he's doing is just wasting tyres, in all honesty. As Pleasant Stake goes on to a final flyer. What about Quincy? Oh, nick of time stuff there from the McLaren driver. So both Stake, Truckster, and Race Chase... no, Quincy even. I don't think Race Chase is on a flyer. Oh, no, he is! Race Chase and Quincy are both on flyers, and they're not separated by much. So now, we're not going to know where anyone is until the end of qualifying. There's a Ferrari just in there. Oh, my goodness me. Luckily, that is either Rendog. I think that was Rendog getting out of the way there. No, it was not. That was Meldrum getting out of the way. And it's just held up Quincy potentially. Oh, no. I think that might be Quincy's lap. Oh, done and dusted. We'll see what it is like. I didn't catch the difference in Sector 2, as now Truckster is approaching the Ferrari of... that will be Meldrum, though, and needs to get out of the way. Meldrum there keeps his car planted, and DRS will open in just a moment's time. There we go. The Williams opens it. And now down the straight, now approaching turn number 14. Where can Truckster keep it? He needs to improve on his personal best there, but I don't know if the Ferrari would have helped would have helped anything. You need to be slowing fast out. ADS has rejoined, so he'll join us for the race. And, oh, it's not an improvement, and he goes into the pit wall as a sign of frustration. Snake is out of it. I don't know what happened to him, but Race Chase will be next to the line. And this is an important session for the Constructors' Championship. Can Race Chase bring a nice improvement here? That's now going a bit wide there, but he keeps it within track limits. Race Chase to 4th. What about Quincy? It is only 5th place. And I just wonder if there was some impeding going on from the Ferraris there earlier on. I don't think so. But at the same time, it could have ruined the confidence of the McLarens, but they only separate the Mercedes. And, well, I have decided it's time for some nice surprises. I will announce it in just a second. I might just be going a little bit quiet for a moment, but I promise you it's all for a good reason. Let's see. Let's see. Let's just see. I need to just do something. I'll announce it in just a second. Don't you worry about that. Let's see. Hang on. Don't worry. Don't worry. All will be clear soon. All will be clear soon. Yeah, we're not going to worry about the qualifying results. Let's just say that for free. There you go. So we are now confirming it's reverse grid in Shanghai. So pole position no longer goes to Trugster. He will start right at the back with ADS. So Energetic now is no longer in second with Pleasant State, no longer in third. I can't wait for this. Okay, let's go. And yeah, there we go. Let the discussion begin. Well, there we go. I have caused chaos. So, with the reverse grid, we will confirm that on the formation lap. So, I have reversed the grid. So, basically, I've decided to reverse the grid. So, that means Trugster no longer starts pole. I'm getting an absolute, let's just say I'm Public Enemy #1 as of right now. So I'm just gonna go away. We're gonna get the lobby restarted and take it from there. So you qualify to be at the front and then they reverse it, so the first car is at the back. Yes, exactly. Well done. And also it's up to me, so nobody has any say. Also, somebody liked it. Rolly likes it. Rolly likes it. Nah, Truckster will make his way up the field, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll make his way up the field. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking. There's not really much I can do from now. But anyway, as of right now, we are gonna go and reverse the grid, so be right back. Drugster has given us the cue. It is showtime now in a reverse grid in China. Now, with ADS being disqualified, he will start last position. The reverse grid does not change what happens there. If you are disqualified from the session, that, I'm afraid, does not change. So he will be 16th. We know Trugster will start from 15th as well. So he will be in a points-paying position right at the start. But the two Ferraris, I think, will be first and second. So that's of Meldrum and Red Dog. So they're given a free pass to the top. So they will technically take pole position. Now, you might want to remember as well, very much anything can happen. But if you're right at the bottom of the field, unfortunately, if you're in this reverse grid situation, that doesn't really tend to change. Remember, Veroduco was in this situation last week in, was it Spain? Yes, it was. And then started at the front, but couldn't hold it there. And also, you might remember as well, there was a rather huge pile-up going into T1. Well, we didn't even make T1. So, obviously, the drivers don't want a repeat of that. But, obviously, if that does happen, it will be a lobby restart. So, we'll just wait and see what happens. But now, showtime is here in China. And we are about to go racing here in the land to the east. So, at the moment now, Shanghai, of course, is, I don't know, Beijing is the capital of China. Beg your pardon, at least I think it is. I'm going to have to look that up now because I'm self-doubting myself. But certainly is a very good-looking city. I'm trying to think of the one that looks cyberpunkish. But I do actually know a bit of Mandarin, but I'm not sure if I should really do this on stream, as it will be potentially embarrassing. I can confidently say my name, which goes like Ni Hao Wu Shi Da Wei. Not like that though. That tone was rather butchered. So Mandarin, a very tonal language, but let's see. Yeah, Mandarin, very tonal language. So please do not follow that as an example to say your name either. But anyway, moving on to matters at hand. Of course, with the grid being all mixed up, what does this mean for the championship as well? Can Pleasant Sake make his way to the front of the field? Or will it be Quincy? Maybe somebody else as well. Remember, Energetic is in the mix now as well. If he gets a good result from tonight, he will then have the 2 weeks to just kind of take a break, relax, as will all the drivers, to be fair, and just allow himself to regroup a little bit. So do not forget as well that there's a lot to play for with this reverse grid, despite the circumstances of it. Maybe some drivers not taking very well to the decision, especially Trugster, who did set up a very good lap time, I must admit. I did feel, for whatever it's worth, Trugster, if you're listening, I do feel a little bit bad, and I could have probably waited till next week, but I would have forgotten with those 2 weeks breaks. So unfortunately, I had to apply it sometime, and I applied it this week. So I do feel somewhat bad, Trugster. Please forgive me. In maybe not tonight, but maybe in the next few weeks or so. Well, then again, if you win tonight, maybe fortune will be favourable upon you. Let's see what the racing gods have in store for this reverse grid. We should be underway in a couple of minutes' time. I'm just going to check something for you. It is going to be we are 3 minutes away. So in actual fact, going to take another little break. I'll be back with you in just 1 minute, and then we'll take over from now. Just double check a couple of things for you in the standings. We'll see you in a little bit. all of that muted. Great stuff. So obviously, as you've seen there, the order has been very much decided. Sorry about that. Thank you very much, and Link for pointing that out. That would have been very embarrassing. But anyway, we're now about to go into a countdown. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's going China, and that is a good start there from Red Dog. The King Sauber has contact with the Racing Bulls. That did not take long at all. Quincy already up to 8th position. The Hat of Emanation Boy, though, is in the lead of the race. And oh my goodness me, as Belgium now holds second, there's a King Sauber going wide there of turn 2. And Ibo, who had the top 10 as Belgium has spun out, and Tabran with a magical start there is already up to 2nd place there. That did not take long at all, as Amazon is rudely coming up. What happened there? Oh, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. Thank you, AWS, for getting in the way. That's now Quincy already up to 3rd round the outside there of the sweeper. There'll be a lot of tyre usage there going on. But now Toby fighting back with the McLaren. And there's Race Chase in the background as well. And this is amazing stuff. Quincy still there. And both make contact. And that could have ended in absolute tears. But Toby will not be happy about that. And now go to investigation as Quincy misses his braking point. Our front weekend plate is gone. And Toby from 3rd to 12th place has lost all the positions. Where is Snake in all of this? And there we go. He's in 7th place so far, keeping it clean. But Emmett is still in the lead somehow. And there's Quincy going to make it 3 wide down the straight. Seriously? Emmett is still in this lead somehow. He's done a good job to keep it in front, but now surely Quincy has a bit of a moment there on the exit for the Haas driver, and that loses it as they go to Brad round the outside, the final corner. Oh my goodness me, Brad backs out so he doesn't get that penalty, but now Moksha will have a run at the Mercedes, as will Race Chase. What a chaotic first few laps this has been. DRS is enabled by Race Control, as you would expect. 3-1 into turn 1, contact there. Emma not quite sure how to sort that out. More contact there. Bit of afters there going on. Emma's still in 3rd place somehow. And as of right now, Moksha and Race Chase swap positions again. This is absolutely amazing racing. A bit of wheel banging though. So let's get the tyre delta off so we can see more of the action. And there's Pleasant Snake in the middle of all of this. Emin now loses positions. And surely now Energetic will have to run as well. Round the outside of Emin goes the... Oh my goodness me, but Emin loses it. I think there might have been a bit of contact there as Trunkster's now up to 7th. Caution in Sector 2 for that spin. It gets sorted out though as Toby makes his way up into 10th from having a moment. But Suribo will be really annoyed. Didn't even make it to turn 1. And couldn't really... Well, no, didn't make it past the first lap. Couldn't keep it within the top 10. So real disappointment there for Suribo. But now Quincy takes the lead of the race. But under controversial circumstances, there might have been a bit of... there was a bit of side-by-side action with Toby, which might land him in trouble. He's also missing a front-wing gameplay, and that was for an inside move with Tabran there. Very optimistic there from the McLaren. So Quincy already in a bit of trouble with the stewards, potentially, as now no Sebo in the background, with Toby down the inside of that Kick Sauber of Skid Solo. We don't really see what happens there. The camera just cuts away at the wrong moment, and Skid Solo gets the hairpin wrong, allowing Emanation Boy back through as Tabran takes the fastest up of the race here, and he's going to go side by side with Quincy into turn 1, gets the move done, and surely Quincy will now be suffering with that lack of downforce. And in the background as well, Toby gets through into 8th place ahead of the Red Bull of No Sebo, but makes it, goes very wide there through turn 1, and there we go, and that is No Sebo back into 8th place for now. But here's what I really want to keep an eye on, because the top 7 are all together, with Quincy, of course, the outlier with the damaged front wing there. So here we go. The top 7 come out of what is turn number 6 there. And now they go through turn number 7 into 8. Of course, a lot of dirty air here. Chuckster, of course, who was on pole position in qualifying, but due to the reverse grid, of course, got sent all the way to the back. And Tabran now on lap 3 might begin to check out from Quincy. Remember, Quincy carrying a bit of damage with his car. And Moksha, though, is having a very good race of things so far. He's right onto the back of the championship leader. But more importantly, it'd be more important for Pleasant Snake to really make his way through the pack. But, of course, that's not going to be easy with this DRS train of 7 cars. currently backing him up, and maybe even though Sebo gets involved in this, but that is very unlikely considering the pace he had earlier on. Race Chase, I think, is about to make a move first. Quincy goes for the lead of the race here down the inside of turn 14, gets the move done, holds off to Bran there, and now that is important. So I'm not going to say where the constructors stands as of right now. Remember, going into the evening, Mercedes and McLaren only separated by a singular point. And boy, this has really thrown up things into the mix. This is basically what qualifying... Well, I'd say this is the qualifying order, but we're close to it as Tabran now takes the lead again. DRS swapping with the McLaren as there's a Ferrari of Meldrum pointing in the right direction, but no intervention required from race control as Pleasant Stake now finds some room and goes down the inside of Energetic on the exit as Moksha now has had a moment, and they're, well, careful, don't make it 3 wide, and well, there, no room for Pleasant Stake to go as now Trugster finds a way through, not 1 but 2 cars going into turn 6, gets the move done, and that is 5th place from Trugster. For now though, Moksha trying to fight back, but no dance there was going to be had with the Aston Martin. Trugster not wasting any time at all, and he is through and now has 2 less cars to worry about, and Snake now has got to reset and start from the back of the pack yet again and try and calmly find his way through. But this is an equilibrium in the race now. 7 cars altogether. DRS train formed. And it's about, well, partially who's going to blink first. Remember, there is an obligatory pit stop that you do have to do in F1. So if you are used to the real-life Formula 1, well, the only thing that will be familiar is the fact that there is going to be a swap for the lead of the race under DRS. That will be very familiar to all of you who watch the real-life sport. But now, here we go. As we go down the straight again, it looked like Pleasant Stake was about to have a move down the inside. But no dice there. Of course, Trugster, who is very upset with me for the reverse grid, as now we see, well, some battles in the background as Toby and Skid Solo going side by side with one another, and then there's Emanation Boy as well, as, oh, I think there's been a moment here. Red Dog went wide, Skid Solo went wide as well, so I don't know if there was some kind of contact there between the 3 drivers, but they all point in the right direction eventually. As, oh my goodness me, the Aston Martin trying to go down the inside of turn 1 through that corner. That very rarely works, so now he's gone very wide and allowed Pleasant Stake to have a go. They're going to go side by side, bit of wheel banging between them. Carbon fiber bits go flying into the air, although that might not register in the game. That's how Moksha, oh, that's contact! And Trugster still faces the right direction somehow. I thought that was going to be the end of Trugster's race there, but Pleasant Stake and the Aston Martin going side by side. Moksha has to concede for now, but Moksha looking very quick on those medium tires, but they will fall off as this stint of the race comes to its end. And there's even some battles going on at the background. It's very hard to know where to look when you're engaged with a battle for the lead here, which is 7 cars. ADS makes his way through the Kick Sauber of Sir Ibo there, but looking like he's understeering through these high downforce sections of 8 and 9, now through 9 and 10. Emin is going to lose out to Red Dog at some point. Goodness me, I thought that was going to be a crash, but Red Dog lucky to get on the brakes there and just sort himself out. Guys, if you can just double check, can you hear me? A-okay. If you can, please do let me know. I was muted for the entire formation lap, so you would have had a bit of a different audio-visual experience than you're used to. Moment there as now Energetic and Red Dog, Energetic and Trugster go side by side. Trugster trying to go around the outside of the final corner. Actually gets the momentum as Tabran goes wide, and does Moksha, and now both have DRS down the start finish straight. Oh my goodness me, several battles happening at once, and Trugster did not get through, but Quincy was nearly overtaken as now the Racing Bull of Energetic has found a way through round the inside of the McLaren, and now Trugster is going to try and find his way around the outside, but remember, he'll be vulnerable to Pleasant Stake on his inside, but he's kept it there. Race Chase is vulnerable, going in turn 6, and so is the Racing Bull. That's a block up there from the Williams driver. Nobody makes contact there. Somehow, I don't know how everybody's still pointing in the right direction, but this is very entertaining stuff. Nice and clear, says Rolly. Okay, that's put my anxiety to rest. Tabran is off! Tabran has lost it through turn 8. And, yeah, turn 7 and 8. Don't know what happened there, but he's gone. And now, all of a sudden, now Trugster has 1 less car to worry about, and Mercedes are in trouble in their constructors. Well, I'll get you on the points when we get into a later part of the race. And now, pressure from a Williams to a McLaren. Both are British teams, remember, and Energetic could be on for the win here. But, of course, a long way to go. We're going to be on lap 7 at the line. Both cars going to have DRS, but Quincy under pressure from the Racing Bulls in front. Let's look to this battle for the lead, but no change there. As now we look to Truckster to try and make a change here. Well, that's what he would want anyway, but no dice there. And now Pleasant Stake is right on the back. Can Tabran? Well, Tabran is checked out from no Sebo, so he's going to try and focus on bringing the gap down as Energetic dramatically goes to the inside there, takes the lead of the race, and well, now he is now the new leader of the Grand Prix as of right now. And Truckster taking that very wide line, so you lose out on a little on the mid corner, but then once you get on the exit, that's where you gain the most, and that's actually the better line through that turn. I think a lot of real life drivers do actually take that line when they actually race in the Grand Prix. So Truckster actually playing it smart here as a big lockup, well, small lockup on both front tyres there for the Williams driver. It says Bruiser and Rendog swapping positions as, that's because Rendog has gone into the pits as he is retired from the session. Frustration for the Ferrari team, so well, there'll be no intervention required from race control either. So that's the good news of it. Just trying to figure out who is where on track. So it looks like Bruiser and Suribo are very close together as well. They're just going through turn 6 now. And the battle we're looking at is currently for the lead of the race, which is now a 6-car pack due to Tabran having a mistake on the previous lap, or maybe contact. I'm not very sure one way or the other. Anyway, DRS opens for Quincy to the inside. He goes of Energetic, and, well, that'll be a very easy pass, of course. The Racing Bulls with no DRS due to the fact that they've got no car in front of them. You have to be within a second of a car in front of you in order to have the drag reduction system in your favour. There'll be the same go through here as Energetic with a mistake. Or is that? No, that was Quincy, beg your pardon. So Quincy goes back through, but the McLaren looked vulnerable there on the exit of the corner, and Quincy might not just be done by 1, but 2. Luckily, his teammate holds firm for now, keeps Truckster behind. He needs to, but of course, Energetic in the mix here is not going to be helping Quincy get away. And of course, remember, Truckster put it on pole position, but those medium tyres will be fading as well, so something to keep an eye on as well. Just looking at the tyre graphic, you can see Quincy and Race Chase have gone on separate strategies, but Quincy is in the most trouble here. He will need a replacement front wing if this continues on, as now Sir Ibo, and, well, no, ADS is just in for a mandatory pit stop. I wonder if he's had a front wing go, I wonder if he's had part of his front wing go missing. Hang on, let's stay with this for the time being and see what we find out. No, he's just going in for his mandatory 1 stop. And that is the hard tyre. It's an undercut for ADS, so keep an eye on him. He might be further up the field before the end of the Grand Prix. But if a safety car comes out, well, that would really put everything into doubt. Caution in Sector 1 for no reason at all, just for ADS on the pit exit. But I don't know why you need a yellow flag for that. Must be just one of those EA Sports, it's in the game things. No change here for the lead into the first DRS. Oh, my goodness me. Quincy with a heavy look up there into turn 14. Gives Race Chase a run. This will not be helping the McLarens defend defend from anybody, from the Mercedes behind especially. So Brad has lost touch with this top 6, so he needs to think of something. Really, Mercedes needs to get on the radio and say, hey, do you want a new strategy? And I think that's what Tabran really needs, as we have a Ferrari that's gone right there. That's at turn 6. Both Ferraris have struggled with this track for some reason, so it's not been... Oh, and Energetic has lost it! Energetic has spun through turn number 4, and it's all over for Energetic. Can he get pointing in the right direction ASAP? No, he cannot. He has lost all the ground. And now, well, that's Energetic bumping Race Chase through, because he now knows he could be looking at a win in this Grand Prix. Energetic gets pointing in the right direction, but it's 9th place for the Racing Bulls driver. The Ferrari has had another mistake in front, but now these are important laps for the Grand Prix, as now Truckster could be on for the win despite having to start from the back of the field, as there's an Aston Martin having a funny moment in the background there. Oh, but Truckster has made contact with the McLaren, and I think Truckster's going to give that back, but Pleasant Stake wasn't aware of what was going on. Oh, no! Contact with Pleasant Stake, Oh no, controversy in this Grand Prix, in this reverse grid, mystery Grand Prix. That's a line of words I don't think anyone would ever want to say. But now, with Race Chase's mistake, Pleasant Snake has lost part of his front wing, and drama has erupted here in China. And look at this, a Red Bull of no Sebo is in 6th place now. And Pleasant Snake now needs to come into the pits. He cannot continue with that much damage to the front wing. He knows it. He's coming into the pits now. And that could be... Well, that means Quincy is now given a bit of a free stop. Essentially, because now his main championship rival has to now also take a new front wing. And Truckster is now going to bring that gap back up. And, well, there's going to be a few stewards reports into this one. Let's say that for free. But anyway, let's see. As all low is okay. So I just wanted to give you a bit of a fun fact I've been able to get from my friend here. So basically, if you look at the track from above, let's see. Oh, the Shanghai circuit layout is in the Shang symbol, meaning high or above there. So a bit of a fun fact there from my friend there, just in the middle of the race. Thank you very much for sending that over. Really appreciate that. But yeah, no. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I can't say thank you enough. He's kind of a silent reporter that just gives me these fun facts. So he's a bit like, he's just this F1 encyclopedia of little facts here that I can put into my commentaries every now and then. But of course, just an update on the race in case you're wondering, if you've come from qualifying and thinking, hang on a minute, what the heck's happened? Well, I initiated a reverse grid, which I am allowed to do. I only have one shot at it, and I decided to take it. And at the moment, well, I decided to take it during the Mystery Grand Prix, and I may live to regret it. We will soon see, as there's the Ferrari, beg your pardon there, Ferrari there, just allowing the cars through. So a brief yellow flag there in that sector. And yet again, it's a Ferrari is in the barrier. Oh, and it's Belgium in the barrier on the exit of turn 15 there. As now we're going to see No Sebo try and overtake the Mercedes of Tabran. But Belgium is not pointing in the right direction. He might have to get that pointing sooner rather than later, or else we might see a safety car. There we go. He's now underway, so no need for an intervention from race control. There's Pleasant Snake coming to lap. Oh my goodness me. Belgium struggling with the acceleration there. Just gives you an idea of how hard it is to control one of these magnificent Formula 1 cars. And no end plates on his front wing either. This is absolute chaos. Totally not induced by me. Not my fault at all. Anytime we've had a reverse race, we've had some sort of chaos. Of course, you might akin to last week in Spain when I reversed the grid and we had a massive pile-up thanks to Shaggy's. Quincy there massively locks up. And, well, Truckster again goes deep into the brakes there. At that very corner again. Just be careful of that, because that might land you in contact. That was 11 and 12. And now through the banking of turn 13 we go. And Truckster will have DRS on Quincy for the first time in this Grand Prix. As now the top three are battling for the lead of the race. There's no Sebo in the background as well, battling with the Mercedes of Tabran, who is 8.2 seconds down the road. I think Quincy needs to come in now, because he can't cover off Pleasant Snake at this current moment in time. As no Sebo now down the outside of Tabran, and that is a Red Bull into 4th position there. Of course, still has to do his mandatory pit stop, so don't consider this as definite just yet. But now Truckster is got the back of Quincy, not close enough there, as no Sebo goes in for his mandatory pit stop. Well, speak of things and they may happen, and that's what happened with no Sebo. He's out in the pit lane and is going to try and, well, it's going to knock off his mandatory pit stop. Let's keep an eye on the tyre delta to see what tyres he goes on to. Hard tyres for the rest of the race. So that's 17-lap run on the hard tyres. He'll be behind Pleasant Snake. So, yeah, no, it really needs to be now that Quincy comes into the pits. I mean, Truckster's caught him, look. So you might want to be careful. And Truckster might even have to think about a pit stop soon in the next couple of laps. Not for the sake that his tyres have gone, but for the sake of the fact that he needs to really match the pace of Snake behind. Of course, he has been given a few seconds thanks to Snake changing his front wing. And, well, Quincy might be out of the win here. And, oh, my goodness me, Quincy with a massive mistake there. Snaps it on the exit of 10. And now through 11 and 12, well, Truckster will have that all together. Just about there. But that's going to give Quincy DRS again. That could have been disaster for the McLaren driver and really needs to avoid disasters as of right now because he has got a championship lead to think about, and now we'll have DRS again, and this will help him come towards the end of the lap. He's surely got to pin it in and use those, well, do 60 laps on medium tyres, which might be a little impossible, but big lock up there for the McLaren. He makes the apex anyway. You wouldn't usually see that, as now Race Chase and Tabrana swapping positions yet again. That is Race Chase up into 4th there, but we need to keep an eye. Quincy still not into the pit lane. He is not going to cover off Pleasant Stake as of right now because he is just caught up to the back of Skid Solo. 1.2 seconds between the two. And now it is going to be, well, Boxer going very wide as now Race Chase into the pits. So they weren't going to cover off anyway. It's Tabran gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And that is going to be the end of his race. As there we go, now we have the RB of, that is Toby into the pits as well. He's going to serve his mandatory stop now. What about Energetic? Has he served his stop? Yes, he has. He's in fact served it last lap. So let's see. 25 seconds between, well, Quincy and Snake. So Quincy does have to really stop this lap. There's not really much choice in the matter. And Truckster as well, I would say, would be in a good position to stop. He can have 15 laps on mediums. And really, I think if he, as long as he looks after his tyres and watches it in these zones here, he can get to the end, no problem. Energetic as well, makes a move. But that is because Emin Asian Boy is into the pits. Right, looking back to your top 3, because this is where the action is at the moment. Tabran, if he is to make another stop, needs to serve an additional 10 seconds due to speeding in the pit lane. And now Truckster, well, surely is going to have to defend from the Aston Martin behind. In fact, he was recharging battery. He might be saving it for this DRS zone. And there you go. He certainly was. And now he is deploying the battery. Who gets, well, takes out 4 to 3/10 of a second from Quincy in front. And now, well, he's going to try and see if he can get onto the back of the McLaren. But surely it is pit stop. It's not pit stop time for either. But Moksha doesn't follow through. He is now going to come into the pits and go on to a set of hards. Can Truckster now make a way past the McLaren? Oh, goodness me. That was close to, that was awfully close to both of them. And now let's have a look as they go through turn 2. And now 3 and then 4. Truckster will remain in front, but here's Pleasant Stake now. Moksha is approaching the pit lane exit. I think Moksha has lost out to 3rd position, you know, and there it is. Pleasant Stake comfortably through into 3rd. It thought it was going to be much closer than that, but evidently not. As now Skid Solo is there as well, but Moksha is well out ahead as Tabran and No Sebo do indeed swap positions again. But now Quincy is not in a good position at all. He has stayed out far too long. He's not, and I think Truckster has as well, you know. And it would be beneficial if Quincy could just allow Truckster through. And then again, I think Truckster is also holding up himself and is allowing Pleasant Stake to use those medium tyres. As caution in Sector 3 for Meldrum has got it wrong at turn 13. Shouldn't require any intervention from race control, as he's, parked it. He should just get going again. Yep, he has. There you go. That dot has confirmed it. As now Truckster is going to indeed try and move. But, oh, goodness me, look at how much Pleasant Stake is catching, though. Pleasant Stake is catching at a right rate of knots. So one of these two really does need to come into the pits. As entertaining as this battle is, they have got a very, very fast Mercedes approaching in kind. And, well, don't forget, after this week, we are going to have a 2-week break as Quincy will be away. And there we go. Truckster eventually comes in to try and undercut the McLaren in front, but nearly makes a mistake as he goes into the pits. But luckily still pointing in the right direction. So now all eyes to the Mercedes again. He should be ahead of the Williams realistically, but those mediums have been used up as now No Sebo is going to go side by side with Tabran for 5th place, as there's Race Chase as well getting involved in all of this. They just got past Skid Solo. Down No Sebo, under pressure from Tabran, but no dice there as now Truckster comes out behind. Oh, will it be behind Moksha as well? Yes, I'm afraid so. That is 2 position loss for the Williams driver on the medium set as Tabran makes his way back past No Sebo. A lot of action happening in a few moments there that we've been away from that. And Race Chase right on the back of the Red Bull. And, well, they only share 1 lap difference in hard tyres, but the pace difference Race Chase has found is going to be absolutely immense here. Now, remember, we had a reverse grid, so now Truckster, with all the work to do, starting from 15th, is now up to 4th place. He's certainly going to have a few words for me in the podium. I think there's really no doubt that he will make it to the podium. I don't think that is under any sort of extreme doubt. But of course, remember as well, there is a few drivers around him, and well, mistakes can happen, but Quincy surely will be in the pits at the end of this lap. And well, 14 laps on these, on a medium set of tires. I think that should be doable. You've removed most of the fuel from the first stint, and then of course into the second stint you go hell for leather on mediums, and there we go. DRS will open for the Williams, and that is Chugster into third place, as you would expect considering the pace difference between the Aston Martin and the Williams. And there we go. So now 2.3 seconds to the Mercedes is Chugster, make that 2.1 on the exit. Of course, fresher mediums by 5 laps. Quincy is now indeed in the pit lane, and in fact, has he changed his front wing? He has not, so he's going to continue on with that damage. It's thinking about the time loss from the front wing repairs, but of course that's going to be an advantage for Pleasant Snake. But Quincy there is really just on damage control at this point, and has a bit of a moment on the exit, but will come out ahead of Tabran. That was important for the McLaren team there. As well, here we go now. It's just really a fight for the lead between Chugster, Moksha, and Pleasant Snake. Caution in Sector 2 again for a spun round Ferrari of Meldrum, who is over a minute in behind the next competitor. Everybody is guaranteed points here as long as they finish the race, though, so remember that. But Chugster is now looking at the back of Pleasant Snake. What a drive this has been from the Williams, even though there was a bit of controversy with Race Chase earlier on, where he made contact into the complex of corners we are approaching. And well, look at 5 laps on medium tyres. What difference they make. And Moksha might be on for a win as well. Don't count him out, but I think Pleasant Snake will have DRS to the Ferrari in front. The pace difference between the Mercedes should be between the Mercedes and the Ferrari should be enough, as there's Chugster right on the back of the Mercedes as we go through. Let's go on board as we just lose sight of... Oh no! There's contact or something between Moksha and maybe the Ferrari? No, there was nothing. He just hit something as Pleasant Snake has lost the lead. What happened? It looks like he just hit something. Did anyone... What? What? What happened there? Hey? I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What happened there? What happened to Moksha? Does anyone know? Chat? Any idea? What happened with him? He just looked like he bumped into something. It looked like he was spun round by another car, but there was no other car around him. I thought there was contact, but evidently... I am so confused, as you can clearly tell. And now, while Chugster has taken the lead of the race, Moksha's hard tyre advantage is gone because of that spin. I'm confused by that. I don't know what happened. And that will be one for Moksha to really look into. I don't even... I'm confused. I'm up there before the... Oh, I've seen there was an invisible bump. Oh, so there's an invisible bump on the track. I see, and that's caught out Moksha. Oh, that is such a shame for Moksha, though. Running such a great race. And, well, the random bump catches out the Aston Martin driver, and that hard tyre advantage he had is all but gone. He is now checking out from... Well, Quincy is checking out from the Aston Martin, and that advantage Moksha had is all but wasted. And there's an Emanasian boy facing the wrong way. He's going to get back underway without much trouble. But this race now, which, oh, goodness me, had a very exciting start, is probably going to calm down a little bit. There isn't really much of anything happening. Caution in Sector 3 for the Ferrari of Meldrum, who's again spun round, really struggling with something. But if he just finishes the race, he gets a point. And, well, disappointing evening for Ferrari, to say the least. Tifosi feeling the pain of real-life Formula 1 in the virtual world still. That's not what he would have wanted us. Oh, we have a moment here. I think Energetic has had a moment down the straight here, and he's just lost the position to ADS. ADS 21, over 20 seconds to Toby there, so you can tell how much things have checked out here. But now Moksha really needs to do a solid and try and hang on. But Quincy, oh, goodness me, Tabran there having a moment on the exit, as Meldrum has another moment, but that shouldn't bring out a safety car in reality unless he has a DNF. But 11 laps to go, and well, currently Quincy will lose out another 4 points if things are to stay as they are right now. But Quincy is bringing down that gap, and the two championship contenders, I imagine, are going to start fighting with one another. Now, Quincy might be in trouble with the stewards here, as well, as will Trugster potentially for the move at, there's been a mistake here. Who was that? Oh, Tabrana's had an error! Another one, and he's lost to No Sebo as well. So No Sebo on for a fantastic result. As Skid Solo now has made a move on Energetic. Energetic has had another moment. I wonder if he's got some damage to his floor that we cannot see on his car. Just trying to check that. I think he does, actually. Yeah, I think he does. But again, don't quote me on that either. Don't quote me on that, because I might be wrong as well. But Moksha is currently also being caught by the McLaren of Race Chase as well for 4th place. Of course, Quincy in no mood to help out his teammate at the moment. And now with 10 laps to go, as Bruiser gets a track limits penalty, the first driver to do so, that's 3 seconds added on to his time. You can't serve that in a pit stop. Got to serve that at the end of the race, as it's considered gaining an advantage on track. Now, if you get a 10-second penalty, that is a different kettle of fish. You can serve that in the pits. But coming back to the battle for second place and the battle for the championship as well, well, just to let you know, currently Quincy will be losing downforce through these sections, but on the straights, that's where he'll gain the most. There's a moment there for... is that Skid Solo? As Belgium and Energetic are in the pits as of right now, changing tyres and maybe repairing any damage if possible. Energetic retires from this session. I think, yeah, he's just had some damage to his car that just couldn't be repaired, so he's out of the running. And Belgium, I think, is just trying to survive, so Energetic not going to score any points at all in this season, as 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits for Skid Solo, so he can serve that in the next pit stop if he wants to, but will have to serve that post-race if he does not. Bruiser as well, gaining a position thanks to Energetic's DNF, so, well, this will be a good haul of points for the Red Bull, 6th and 12th, so 6th place there gains you 10 points, with a 12th place gaining you 4 points, so 14 points towards the Red Bull team there. And if anybody else does retire up ahead, well, this could be good news for especially Kick Sauber as well. They're on another double points there, so it is going to be a 9-point gain for the Kick Sauber as well. So they're both scoring double points as well. They're on a good streak of points as of right now as well. I think Emmons had another mistake there. Indeed he has. He's having a connection moment, it would seem, trying to decide if he wants to visit his alien overlords or not. And having a hard time doing so. This could get a bit dangerous if anybody catches up to the back of the Haas driver. That will be No Sebo there. Yeah, this is dangerous. I think Emin will have to be kicked. Well, no, Emin can't be kicked, beg your pardon. This is not a Seto Corsa. This is F1 25, unfortunately. Unfortunately for some. But here we go. Yeah, Emin's definitely struggling with his connection. And definitely had a moment. Let's see, where was he going through? That was turns number 11 and 12, wasn't it? So, definitely something wrong with the Haas driver there. But let's have a look at this battle for second place, which is also coincidentally a battle for the championship. Pleasant Stake and Quincy going into this evening were separated by 11 points. At the moment, if things are to stay as they are now, it would be a 7-point separation. But Quincy on those fresher medium tyres by 6 laps, and that's making all the difference here. Pleasant Stake didn't go on the right tyre, I don't personally think, as Quincy tries to cool his engine down. Out of the slipstream he goes. And Moksha, well, of course, was running with the top 3 earlier on, but has checked out due to hitting an invisible bump a few laps ago. But on lap 21 out of 28, we now have an 8-lap battle for what is your championship right here, right now. These two positions have a 4-point separation, unless if someone wants to crash or bring out a safety car, it would throw up an even greater equation. Tabran is also way too far out. He had a mistake a couple of laps ago, but the complex of turns we will be approaching in a couple of corners time. And the emanation point, oh goodness me, well, that could have been dangerous there, as that could be damage to Pleasant Stake as well. Let's have a quick look as Emin has held up Quincy there. And look at the connection. there issues there persisting? Has Pleasant Snake got any damage? No, he has not, but Quincy will have lost a full second there to Snake as... Oh, 10-second penalty! Oh, no! For ignoring yellow flag! I don't think that's a fair penalty at all. Oh, this is controversial. Our battle has been robbed. And now Pleasant Snake has a penalty of all things. That is the last thing he would have needed. And now Moksha is all there with us as our race chase. And Evan is not being predictable at all due to his connection issues. That's going to be a worry for a lot of drivers. But now Pleasant Snake has had one thing after another happen as Bruiser tries to get out of the way. Not in the most convenient of locations, I've got to say. But goodness me, there's going to have to be maybe a bit of a talking to afterwards about driving standards again. And, well, not just for everybody else, but maybe for a couple for the beginning as well. There was quite a few taps and wheel bangs here and there as Belgium gains position thanks to Energetic's retirement. I'm just going to see if I can get an eye on the Discord here as well. But now this battle for second no longer matters. And Emanation Boy, I think, has just, well, was very close there to bring it out of safety car. I thought the full track was going yellow, which meant an intervention from race control was coming. But that penalty might be removed by the stewards when they put that up for review. So I don't think that's going to stick. So I think Quincy will have to look at getting that done on track regardless. But Eman did not really help anything by his connection, unfortunately. That's not to say that his fault that he did that on purpose, of course. But just something to note. Unfortunately, his connection being unstable does mean that he will be deemed at fault, unfortunately. But here we go, race chase now on Moksha here and SSRL Quincy on Pleasant Snake. So, well, with the removal of the penalty surely going to happen because you can investigate that with the stewards. And let's see, maybe DRS for race chase, but nowhere to go with it. Caution again for Asian Boy there going wide. I think that was Toby just going through. It indeed was, as there's Ferrari with DRS there. That's very interesting. Well, just at least trying to get something together. Really been struggling with the car tonight, has Meldrum, and even Rendog as well. And, well, Moksha is approaching Quincy here to my surprise. But then again, is that a surprise considering Quincy as well took those medium tyres? And, well, they'll be suffering now. And Moksha is being brought right back into this. Race Chase as well took those hards. And, well, it might be a swap. Because Race Chase is also in this championship. Don't forget, Truckster is so far away. It really doesn't matter. I don't think Pleasant Snake will be removed off the podium, to be honest with you. I just don't see that happening. That penalty did not seem fair to me. So, anyway, but I'm not a steward, so please don't take my word for it. But this battle as well, although it's got championship implications, Drugster has checked out from this 5 seconds away. He said he was deflated at the start of the race, but the reverse order has only really worked in his favor. It was barely an inconvenience. Well, as a certain YouTuber says, super easy, barely an inconvenience. So with 6 laps to go, it's his race to lose. Quincy will now open DRS on Pleasant Snake. Another caution for Asian Boy in Sector 2. No safety car as of right now. But I also do want to see a safety car just so that we can see Pleasant Snake and Quincy get themselves removed. You know, Quincy's got to change his front wing. Pleasant Snake's got to serve his 10-second penalty. And, well, it could just make things that bit more exciting as now Pleasant Snake will defend from the championship leader. Here we go. This is championship implications, everybody. And Race Chase has just made his way through. And Race Chase up into 4th. And it's looking at the battle for 2nd place right in front of him, which is, remember, championship implications. Quincy limping through the race with 5 laps to go, and this is where it is do or die. Critical laps for the championship are here as well. It could be, as Emanation Boy is retired, and it's safety car. Oh no, safety car deployed, and now Truckster's lead is gone. And Pleasant Snake and Quincy will have time to sort themselves out. We are going for a sprint race at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. Oh no! Truckster's gonna lose! He's gonna drive through and he has to serve it! Pleasant Sake or Quincy or Race Chase or Moksha will win this race. Truckster has gone and got himself a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. And I have gone and cursed this race. And Suribo gets the same penalty. Oh my god, they killed Kenny. They sure did. That is a... Oh my goodness. Again? Suribo with 2 drive-thrus to serve, or maybe... No, I think that's just a repeat, but now Truckster, heartbreak for the Williams driver, and surely these two now will come into the pits. And, well, Rolly points out that I have jinxed this race, because a safety car has been deployed thanks to Emin crashing. 10-second penalty for Truckster as well. He's out, he's done, and he retires. That is the end. What a heartbreak. And after gaining a 5-second lead as well. And, oh... No, I really feel for Truckster on this one. That was not his fault at all. Nothing he could have done. Quincy does not replace that front wing again. What? No, that makes no sense at all. Nah, Quincy really didn't have to do that. He's in trouble. Quincy is now in trouble. He has decided not to replace that front wing, and Moksha could win this race. Truckster's out, and I don't want to be biased, but you've got to feel for him. You've got to feel for Race Chase. You got to feel for Truckster. Pole position in quality, and then I go and reverse the grid, and then he gets to the lead of the race. A drive-through penalty on the safety car, which I don't think was earned, to be honest with you. As what has happened at the front there? That is Truckster just going off the track, and he'll be taken away as Belgium gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. That is the second driver tonight to have that. He follows along with Bruiser. But now Quincy is going to lead what is a 12-car field. That'll be 11 cars behind him. On the safety car restart, this shouldn't actually take too long to solve. But yeah, no, Truckster taken out of that. And a 10-second penalty for speeding as well. I'll try and get an eye on the Discord, see what's going on. But that is really sad stuff. Let's just have a quick look to see if anything's being said in the D2 chat. Energetic has had he's had to actually kind of quit due to a medical emergency. And Emin went too fast into the pit entry, and that's what caused the safety car. So Emin going too fast into the pit entry, crashing it, causes a full safety car, and Truckster, has been really unfortunate tonight. And well, after a 5-second lead built up, it is now going to be between Quincy, Moksha, Race Chase, Pleasant Sake, maybe no Sebo, as the entirety of the top 10 are now going to be on soft tyres. But Skid Solo as well has the potential to make up some ground as well. Sir Ibo has decided to stay out on medium tyres there. And I think we're going to be going under racing conditions on lap 27. So at the moment it will be there's going to be one lap, no DRS, and the final lap will be a DRS sprint. We have a 2-lap sprint to end what has been a roller coaster of a Grand Prix, Mystery Grand Prix, reverse grid, one safety car towards the end to really bring the race to its absolute tightest. And this has championship implications, and I do believe Quincy has made a mistake by not taking a wing change here, and Pleasant Sake able to serve his 10-second penalty, so no need for any post-race discussion from him. It does not matter. But remember, Suribo also has a drive-through penalty, so Skid Solo will be flying the flag for the Salbers once he catches up to the back of the pack. And I do believe, no, Sir Ibo will just depart to the pits once the safety car restart has happened. But Quincy, well, he's got a real job on his hands. He has got 2 laps of China to keep the Aston Martin, his own teammate, as safety car has been called in this lap. An early call from race control. The Kicksauber hasn't caught up just yet. And, well, we're going to go on board with the McLaren of Quincy. Race chase is going to be 17 feet wide. It's too long. Hello, fellow son. Welcome on in. You've missed what is a controversial Grand Prix, to say the least. A lot of discussion will be happening, and a lot of tears, a lot of blood tears have gone to nothing. Truckster here, the most unluckiest driver in SSRL history, as we are now going to go quiet to observe Quincy's restart at the only safety car in the race. And he rates till the final corner to get things underway. Quincy, remember, with a downforce disadvantage. We're on lap 27 out of 28. It is important. Tabran also can make moves. If he can, this will help the Constructors' Championship. Sorry, that's Bruiser getting out of the way. Beg your pardon. I do apologise there for getting that mixed up. Cerebro still has, has gone for his drive-through, so that means Skid Solo is given a bit of free air. 2 seconds to the Alpine in front. As now we are underway, but we need to have a look down here. It is top 4 that have checked out from No Sebo. As Tabran now is just on the back of the Red Bull, needs to make moves ASAP. Does Tabran for this, just for the sake of Mercedes and the McLaren Constructors. And Quincy's also checking out from Moksha there. I'm surprised by that. So this means Pleasant Stake needs to hurry up and try. I've only seen Truckster getting pegged. Oh, goodness me. That's certainly that's one way to describe it, that's for sure. But there you go. Quincy now with that loss of downforce thanks to his end plate going absolutely, missing. Meldrum there also causing a yellow flag very briefly. He should overtake Truckster next lap, because remember, Meldrum was a couple of laps down there, I think. He's still on the hard tyres he was originally on, as now Moksha won't have DRS this lap, of course. We are now approaching turn 14. Toby is also looking to make a move on the Mercedes. Looks like the RB has got superior straight line speed as we now go into 14. Final lock up there from both the Mercedes and the RB. The Mercedes goes right, the RB now the outside, but the Mercedes has the traction on the exit. And now Moksha still trying to keep with Quincy, has just got a mega run out of the final corner. Fastest up there from Quincy, 1:35.6. Final lap, not long left. Yellow flag is out, but it doesn't matter. It's Tabran down the inside of No Sebo into turn 1. That's all said and done, and Toby now could have a look at trying something on No Sebo in a few moments' time. But now Tabran has got a full second to make up here if he wants to try and influence Pleasant Stake here. He's running out of time. He's only got a lap. Pleasant Stake there was brave, as was Race Chase, but no dice there. And now Quincy is surely going to lose out big time here, and Pleasant Stake has not been able to make a single move as of right now. He is currently trying to just stay with Race Chase, look for a mistake, look for a way through. Half a lap to go. Meldrum now takes 12th position away, so no debate needed to go into race control once this is all over. But anyway, now Pleasant Stake, can he make a move down here? No, didn't get quite alongside enough, but now one last opportunity. It is one shot, one opportunity. Do you take it or do you miss it? As somebody once famously said, Tabran with another mistake there. And now Quincy has got 8/10 between him and that pack of 3 for second place. Who is going to be braver on the brakes into 14? Looks like absolutely nobody. Pleasant Stake tries to get the car stopped as ADS also takes away 7th from Tabran. That is bad news for Constructors, but Quincy with a damaged car has held on. But does Moksha have a run on the exit of the corner? No! Quincy wins! Then that means that's Moksha second, First Chase third, Pleasant Stake fourth, No Sebo fifth, Toby in sixth, Tabran 7th, 8th is ADS there by a matter of few meters there. Bruiser in 10th, Cerebro 11th, and Meldrum will come home in 12th place eventually. But what a Grand Prix ending that was, but nobody really able to move. But remember as well, Quincy might be under investigation for a couple of incidents on lap number 4, I think. So don't forget that. There might be some stewards investigations to come, but McLaren with a great result as of right now. But although that might become undone very, very soon once the stewards have completed their investigation. But Tabran got the run on ADS. It was 8 thousandths of a second separating ADS and Tabran. So that is basically, just to give you an idea of what that is, that's a whisker. Quite literally. Sorry, Dave, I had to go at home. Wife lost the baby. Oh, so sorry, man. That's very sad news. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's very unfortunate, but yeah, that's why I had to pit and quit. No problem at all, Energetic. I obviously just do what you need to do. Be there for your significant other, and we just wish everybody all the best there. But we move on now. As Quincy on the top step of the podium, we will soon see. If he we'll see if he keeps it. That's going to be the main thing, because remember, Quincy had contact with somebody, I think it was a Mercedes of Chabran, I think. And Cletus driver actually goes to Quincy. Goodness me. I think it was to Brand, but yeah, podium celebrations have ended. Let's go through the unofficial results from tonight's Mystery Grand Prix. Quincy was first, with Moksha in second and Race Chase in third, followed by Pleasant Steak and No Sebo rounding out your top five. Then it's Toby from 6th to 10th, and then to Bran, to ADS 8th, and Skid Solo 9th. Best result, I think, that's been for a while. Bruiser in 10th. Sir Ibo then rounds out 11th, with 12th to Meldrum there. And then your non-finishers were Truckster, Emin, Energetic, and Rendog. And of course, Emin, the only driver causing a safety car. Anyway, well, it is going to be Moksha Race Chase into the commentary box right now, because we are about to have some post-race interviews. Yep, and of course, Moksha with the invisible... let's see, there was a bit of contact apparently between Race Chase and Truckster as well. So let's see, we're still waiting for the other two to come in. If we do speak to, if we do speak to second and third, we're just waiting for confirmation. But what a race that was! That was certainly exciting. That's for sure. But anyway, we're gonna sort of kind of analyze that, because Pleasant Sake now with. Well, if Quincy keeps his win, that's where sort of the controversy is going to come from. So it's a 12-point swing to Quincy, which means it's 23 points now going into the final 2 rounds, if it stays like that. But don't forget, there was some incidents there in the race there, which we will need to keep an eye on. And well, everybody has arrived. So without further ado, we now move on to post-race interviews, and we start with our winner of the race, Quincy. Congratulations on your win. How do you feel? You took a week's break last week, and then back to it.
Mixed emotions. Really, really gutted for Truckster, man. He deserved this win today. He had superior pace. I was managing an issue. I was managing a front wing that I hit T-Ban in the bum on lap 1, and I did 30% yellow damage to my wing. My end plate, I believe, was gone, and I was just managing that all race. I did a few changes to the brake bias that seemed to help, and after the safety car, I thought if I change my wing, I'd probably be better off, but I'd be stuck behind somebody, and I know how bad dirty air is, so I just decided to keep the damage both times that I pit, and sort of manage the issue well. Made a mistake when I didn't pit the same lap that Truckster did, because as you could have saw that the undercut was massive. I think he got a 4-second undercut on me, and I couldn't catch him after that. But yeah, mixed emotions. I'm happy I won, but at the same time, I knew that I'm probably not the quickest guy today. So just shame about Truckster, really upset for that.
Absolutely, and I think we should just also say as well, Energetic did have a medical emergency, and
Yes.
he's just shared that in the chat as well. So of course, let's everybody from SSRL, we send our best thoughts to him and his wife during this time.
Yes, definitely.
Bit of a somber moment to learn about, of course, but that is the reality of life outside of racing, unfortunately. Um, but just kind of want to try and focus back on the race there as well. Of course, as you say, you had a few controversial moments with, well, I say a few, but one controversial moment with Tabram where you lost your wing. So do you think that might go to the stewards? And well, obviously, you're the admin here, so obviously you give everybody right to do that. But if that, do you think
Yeah,
there's any chance of
if
that
he,
going to the stewards?
I don't think it would because I hit him and broke my wing. He didn't lose any time. He carried on, and then I overtook him, and we had a couple of good battles here or there until he spun, unfortunately. But I hope it doesn't go to the stewards, but he's free to do so. Anyone can report me. I'll take maximum penalties. It's fine by me. But I don't think it was one of those where I affected his race. I think I had an incident with Turbulenzen, which caused him to spin. I think we came together a little bit. We'll have to review that. He's also free to report that. But we were talking in the voice chat. I got a little bit distracted, missed my breaking point, and I ended up breaking my wing on T-Brown's bum. But again, I don't think it caused him any damage or anything.
Okay then. Well, of course. Now, if things are going to stay as they are, and of course it was at some points chaos, but like the right kind of chaos, not like a pile up before turn one like we had last week. Well, you have, from what I remember, because it's going to be a 12-point difference between you and Snake. It's a 23-point difference. So now with 2 races to go, obviously we have the 2-week break for your trip to the US. Surely one hand on the title now.
Again, I don't wanna get excited. Snake shared with me as well that he's going to be missing the last race, so that sort of takes the pressure off a little bit. But I don't want to count anything out. I think these last 2 tracks, Zandvoort, which is quite tight and twisty. Anything can happen, as seen last season with Andy Andre and Herman. Sort of, I believe that was season 4 where they sort of took each other out or whatnot. So anything can happen on these last 2 tracks, especially Monza with Turn 1 and SSRL's history with Monza as well. So I don't really want to count my chickens just yet. I'm just going to take every race one by one and see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, Quincy, just kind of want to say congratulations on you and enjoy your trip to the US, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here in September.
Thank you, Dave. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Well, moving on now to second place, it's Monksha! What a reverse in fortunes! You had a 5-place grid penalty last night in Montreal. There we go. And now you've turned it all around tonight. You get a podium here. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling very good because it's very surprising. I wasn't expecting to be up there. I think China is one of my worst tracks. Also, I had like almost 2 months injury time, so I didn't race until yesterday. And yeah, I think the comeback feels really good. As I told, I was not the fastest today. There were many guys faster than me: Snake, Truckster, Race Chase, Quincy. But I kind of had the better strategy with a medium inning. So I had a perfect position to behind Truckster and Snake to share the DRS and then the Truckster went really early in, so I had a tire advantage. And then I don't know, shortly before the safety car, I hit an invisible bump before the last straight, and then I was kicked out of the battle between Snake and Truckster, and then I needed to uh, pull back behind Quincy, and happy the safety car came, and then I joined Race Chase in the pits, and that brought me up. But honestly, Race Chase was faster and hunting me, so I was happy to keep the position.
Sorry, Moksha, we're just struggling to hear you just a little bit, but I did understand most of what you said there, but just letting you know that just for future questions. So, like, I mean, I'm sure I'm sort of trying to remember the race from your end because you got screwed over by an invisible bump there. What was kind of the strategy going in before the safety car? Was it just hold on to 4th place? Because you also had Race Chase behind you. So what was your mentality after you spun round?
Honestly, I'm not in the championship, so my target today was just driving, get some practice in, get some track time, and that was my main goal, having fun, and this I had. So yeah, all good.
Absolutely. So, of course, you'll have to remind me, you're full-time in Division 1, correct?
Since yesterday, again, yes.
Since yesterday. Okay. Do you feel like you could go for a championship charge at all next season, or is that sort of out the question and you're going to be looking for middle of the pack, maybe top of the pack, so kind of that area? What are your kind of aspirations now that you've had a couple of races on this game?
My target is honestly the same like last season, to hunt Andy and the guys in front, getting some podiums and end up as high as possible in the championship. That's my target.
Well, tonight was a good start for that. Boksha, congratulations on P2. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you back here in a few weeks' time. Enjoy your break.
Thank you, Dave. Same for you.
Thank you. To move on, last but most definitely not least, it is Race Chase. Good grief. Congratulations on P3. What a race that was. Reverse grid chaos in China, and you were able to survive it. Race Chase, how are you feeling about your third place?
I mean, I'm pretty happy overall, but I had the pace to win that race, I think. So, yeah, I had an incident to where I got kind of hit off track, and then when I tried to come back on, and I spun. But I'll have to look at it and see exactly what happened. And yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say. I'm crushed, actually. I'm really crushed about this one.
And do you think it was that mistake where it all kind of went to the wayside, or do you think there was kind of minor mistakes here and there which might have lost you the race?
I'll have to look at it, but me and Truckster had an incident going into the tight corner before you go onto the back straight.
Hmm.
And I think he was a little too aggressive, but I'll look at it. I think he locked up big time and slid into me, and that costed me 10 seconds at least, I'd say. So yeah, uh, that's about all I can say. And yeah, I'm just bummed. I really am. Sorry, man. I'm just
It,
I think that was mine to lose, actually.
hmm.
So, and I don't often say that. I'm pretty mellow on how I feel like I can drive. I'm not like a top tier driver, I don't think, but today I think I had that possibility to win, and it just didn't happen.
Believe it or not, I have been in your position where I feel like that, so I do. My sympathies go out to you. I know how that feels. It is very crushing indeed. So just allow me to extend my sympathies to you. But I want to kind of try and focus on something a little more positive for both yourself and Quincy, and that's the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes absolutely suffering tonight, especially to Bran. A few mistakes here and there throughout the race. So McLarens have scored good points here. Just to kind of look at my tally, between you and Quincy, you have scored for the McLaren team 17 points, and both of you went into this only 1 point apart. You've gained ground on the Mercedes team now. Well, you've extended some ground, beg your pardon. But now, surely for the overall Constructors' Championship, that's surely something good. As hang on, let me just mute that a second, beg your pardon. Yeah, no, by the way, my question was, just in case of the distractions, how are you feeling about the Constructors' Championship now that you've had a overall good result over the Mercedes?
I think we're solid. We're two pretty experienced drivers. We don't make too many mistakes, and we have decent pace. So I think if we just keep driving well, I think it's ours to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And Quincy's driving fantastic. I think he's driving better than I've ever seen him drive, which is a really good thing. And yeah, and congrats to Quincy and Mochka for the P1, P2, and yeah, that's about all I got to say, man.
All right. Race Chase, I won't keep you here any longer. Thank you so much for taking my questions. I'm so sorry that you feel crushed, but I do hope for this break to be good and kind to you, and we'll see you next time in Monza, which will be in about 2 or 3 weeks' time. So try and enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you in a few weeks' time. Enjoy the break.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye for now. All right, that is the end of post-race interviews. Thank you all for taking my questions. And, of course, we are now going to be on a break. So that means now, well, no action. As there's a joke in chat there from Daryl saying, those grip hacks. Joking. Well done, Quincy. Props driving. Also, he is driving very well. He's certainly, between F124 and F125, he's one of the more improved drivers that I've seen. Of course, he is a bit outclassed in Division 1, as I would expect, but he is even developing pace in there as well. So he's not doing bad. I think we could see a promotion to Division 1 for Quincy very, very soon. But just kind of go through what is going on. Look at this. We now have what is, I think, a 2 or 3 week break. So there won't be any SSRL action here for a while. That is on purpose. So we will be back with you on the 8th and 9th of September. Of course, 9th for Division 2. And then, of course, on the, what is the, let's have a think, 2nd week or 3rd week of this September, depending on how you look at it. It is going to be the final round in Zandvoort, a full qualifying session in the Netherlands. So don't go anywhere for that. But of course, if you are watching on YouTube as well, it will be uploaded at some point in that time as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I very rarely shout that out, actually. Let's give actually a little bit of a nod to the YouTube channel as well, because these races are archived on there. I'll just need to dig it out very quickly. But otherwise, yeah, no, that's going to be it for a few weeks. It's going to be a big break. So, of course, this is because Quincy is going away on a break to the US. He's going to have his own little holiday, and then we will see him back here. Well, we'll see everybody back here on the 9th of September, but there's not really much more left for me to say. But otherwise, Quincy has a hold of 23-point lead going into the break. And, well, once we come out, Pleasant Snake might even be missing the final race. So a lot to play for, potentially. And, of course, don't forget that Constructors' Championship as well. McLaren will be leading that by a few points by now. Mercedes even suffering tonight, thanks to the brand's mistakes. But otherwise, enjoy your break. We'll be back at Monza on the 8th and 9th of September for both Division 1 and 2. It will be a very exciting occasion, and hopefully Herman is back with me in the commentary box when we return. But otherwise, from wherever you may be in the world, everybody from SSRL wishes you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive. See you on the 8th and 9th of September. Until then, bye for now.